episode 2. Throwback to the old studio just for once.
Yeah, or twice. Oh no,
Just fluid situation.
Yeah.
But Dante Bullhauer and Jamie Bullhauer back here with another episode as we chug along with season 9. So let's get right into it. All right, so today we're talking about the importance of artifacts in your creative space. Now, we've touched on how kind of every piece of art somewhat is an artifact, so to speak.
Yeah.
In some way.
And it's a...
But, we're talking about
moment
kind
of
of
time.
the importance of keeping those and kind of what they could mean, not only for you, but, people that will come after you, people that will see your work later in life. My immediate thought was like Chimney Rock. Like way back when it was, don't buy it. Now it's not. But how that was like...
And now they actually have a walking space for you when it's like not that glorious anymore. Back in the day, you had to just...
Yeah, and so like with the Tetons, the mountain of Grand Teton is slowly kind of eroding away. So it's like the point is just kind of coming down. And so kind of the artifacts of the people that have the photos earlier than I do, but even my photos help document kind of the, I guess, awe or what started the awe or started the process of it becoming a monument or a park or whatever, those types of things.
Yeah. See, and okay, so on that set, and we'll again, we're kind of organic, meaning this is why we're filming back here. Just life happens, but especially in your field. So I've thought about this, and not that you have to remember my daily questions way back in the class, but if you remember, there's always the one where I have you go to your photo album, and I go to like your 7th. Okay, so you have a career and stuff that creates a lot of digital artifacts. We already know that technology is not, it is not 100%. And you have, so even as you think about the photos on your phone, or if you got them on Flickr or Google, when was and how often do you actually interact with them as compared to maybe if you had a photo album that sat on your your little couch island thing, or way back in the day when people, one of the last moments with Grandma Hudson when we traveled, we busted out the old boxes of photos, and she went through. We were just having that moment. We had and that's, remember, I think I sent you a picture or text you. Grandpa had these pictures of Hawaii and stuff, those nature ones. So what do you actually think about creating physical artifacts or ways to have your stuff be remembered beyond our normal digital consumption? Because I bet if you think about your phone and stuff that you have, you may have not looked at any of those photos in a long time. And so then, I think that influences the value or what we think is important for that. So, how are you thinking at the moment? And have you even thought about having a collection or creating a book or doing something that changes?
Well, so Peter Lick has like the 110-pound book, whatever.
Right. Yes, I know. Yep.
Looked through it the other day. So that would be a cool goal. That's probably like a $10,000 or more expense. That is not
true, but we can easily.
That would be cool to have something like that. That's, I guess, harder to pass by when you walk into a home than just like a regular size book, a photo album, I guess. So that's kind of a dream of mine. That I haven't even researched how that would even start the process of. But anyway, I do like kind of how, I think my prints help that around the house. I need to put some up in the office that help bring me back to kind of those moments and just have that kind of not nostalgia, but just bringing you back to when I took that photo. I also kind of like the traditional, not souvenir, but kind of keepsake from places where I take photos. For example, I like the GI football that Creighton gave me. Like, that's a really cool way for me to remember, to take me back to the early mornings at weights or the practice or the games or whatever. That helps me think of kind of those. Like, it would be really cool to have a little, I guess, shelf of some photos of GI football with the football, whatever else I may have picked up, something like that. The same thing with like Florida, like some shells that I brought back.
Okay.
Kale and Gianna.
So
that helps
those are
me kind of mixed media.
Those are physical artifacts that you have, and I got of that. But think about, or have, as you consider, okay, mind experiment. Maybe because I'm 106 years old. If you, for whatever tragic reason, passed away, who and how are we going to remember your work physically?
Instagram. I think that, one, if that were to happen, my phone is the physical piece, kind of like the sliding photo album at home now.
Okay,
it's a physical piece.
It is kind of, yes.
And like, I can't possibly print all the photos that I'm proud of. Like, that'd just be too many. And I like it. Maybe I could put them in a book, like a huge photo album. I could probably segment them or whatever. But I guess, what do you feel is the significance of having the physical versus the digital?
It is a little, and it could be an age thing. It could be also, though, a reliance, or I think, and the article I read is like years now, but it just hit me so much in regards to that our digital age is not allowing future generations to remember us. We do not have any physical artifacts that can be discovered, can be passed on, yes, your Instagram, okay, I kind of get that. It was kind of funny. And it's true, but yet there is, if tragically, we do have some prints, we have a print, and stuff like that, but there's not future generations that maybe will discover. And if you've been paying attention, was it Picasso? Somebody again just found, this happens all the time, an original from an artist at like a garage sale or in the attic, and like, oh my gosh, and then the art historians were all up in because it's a physical artifact. And again, some art, painting, things like that, but even writing to a degree, why I have gone back to trying to do drafts, at least the first ideas and stuff. And you already know that I keep that stuff. But if, I passed away or something like that, you're not going to get into my Google account. I mean, Mom will have, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there is physical evidence that I'm here. Now, you guys, after I pass away, you might throw it away. You might keep it in a box. We have gone through. It's just an interesting component, I think, of the creative's life that, to a degree, we create because we are making a statement about our time, who we were, and stuff like that. But as more and more things are digital, and we just assume, Google will never get hacked or whatever, but until that stuff is so easily ignored. Again, I challenge you to pay attention to the last time you actually looked at your photos that are all in your, But two, it's not indestructible. And yes, I get, if our house caught on fire, there goes all my artifacts. Like, that we can't help that. It just is, it seems to be, if everything is so digital, it's passed over quickly. It can't be retrieved as easily as we consider or think that the time will come, because life will happen, and for future generations to know who you were, what you did, how we're going to kind of know that. And your world is very digital, which is why I thought it was such an interesting idea of the artifact and the importance of it. Or if you've even considered it. And again, it could be age thing,
I have, but where our difference lies is I can't make a physical, but the creation of my work has to be digital, at least at the onset. I could paint a photo, whatever, but I can't take a photo unless it's like a Polaroid, I guess, where it immediately becomes a physical like object. And so I guess where I differ a little bit is the opportunity to make all of my digital artifacts physical is so readily available that would it have the same, would it just be if I pass away, whatever, and you just printed some of the photos, it would basically be like me printing the photos before.
It would be, but we may not get to your account. Like, you know what I said? Like, I just, the digital aspect of our lives, I think, has just created this ease of, later, which you just said, which we kind of think that, I'll do, this is such a cool picture, I'm going to deal with it later. We never get there. Like, we don't have that drive that even if you just printed the 4x6s of stuff and put them in a box, it's just the artifact and the ability to have our stuff to a degree, which is why, way back in the day when I was doing Under the Lights, did some interviews and did some, it was you guys really finally drove me to like, this book will be here, and I was not trying, going to pass away, but it's just like, this I have a book and now I've got like 11, but it's like, there is a book, it is on our bookshelf, it is your dad, you choose to do what you want with it when the time comes and stuff, but it is a creative artifact that I have that can be remembered.
Similar to that point, like the selling of my first print was like that, like maybe they'll throw it away whenever, but like that is
actually technically your first print was sold during our garage sale. Remember that lady bought the road.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Or so, and so you actually have sold
what
two.
Did we sell that for? $20?
Yep.
Huh.
And now I wonder if they think about that or they know what you have done, and they have actually got an original Dante Bullhauer Media, like.
That's wild. How big was that?
It was at least 8x11. Yeah, I think and we had the frame lady actually do the art.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, like.
And there's some sold down in Arizona, I think.
Yes, yes, we did. We did.
Well, okay, I've sold many things. I am a certified print seller now.
Yep. Yes, that's true.
I forgot about those.
Yep.
I'm signing all of them.
Yep. Yeah, so in the world.
Those types of moments, I feel kind of, it's like a legacy type feeling where you're like, there is something out there that will be remembered. And I think that just on a more like macro level, we are subconsciously trained through the social media and just the go-go nature of everything now to not really be concerned with down the line.
Yes.
It's just simply about like there's going to be so many studies done, I imagine, about the short-term gratification shift of like before mainstream iPhone versus like before versus after, basically. And so I feel like a lot of people don't even really care to think about what legacy am I leaving, because who cares? It's later down the line, or I'll just go to the next thing. Like, it's just like news cycles. There's a huge story and everybody freaks out, and then 2 days later, nobody even knows what they were freaked out about. And recognizing the importance of having those things, those specific things. Like I have a box in that closet with like first movie ticket with a girl, whatever, which is lame.
No, it's not.
It's corn. I don't know. Whatever.
I still have
not lame.
I still have my Prince ticket, and you can't even tell what it is anymore. Ta-ta. And I carry it in my wallet. There it is. You can't.
Oh
you can
gosh.
barely even.
Third balcony.
Yeah, third
Sunday,
balcony. I probably
December
get
14th, 50 cents users fee. Wow.
Yeah, like we're just
$35.
Yeah. Well, it was third balcony. It was way up there. My first, the only time I got to see him live.
Very interesting.
Yeah, and I know you can't, but that's barely like you could hardly see.
Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, so like I have.
So it's an artifact.
Yeah, boxes of stuff like that, and just different. I have my first speeding ticket, which is weird. I don't know why I have that. But yeah, those we've kind of lost. It's in Colorado on my way home for the senior trip, $175 fine. But we have kind of lost the importance of recognizing what those the impact that those could have, not only on just us later in life, but children, grandchildren, just whoever really. And it does kind of like it does make me want to print more and have more photos out there. Like having an art gallery would be an all-time artifact legacy type moment thing, even if it was just kind of like a temporary one where they cycle through different galleries a year, whatever. But that doesn't seem as important to people to be actively either looking for or creating or I guess keeping.
Yeah, I agree. I like social media and stuff has created that, but I as a creative, and again, some art expressions, painting and sculpting and other stuff like that's a natural artifact because of the medium. But as I was saying about, and again, like for writing, I don't know how many writers just have all their stuff just on the Google Drive or a pen drive. Like that can disappear. And the article, and I wish I would have saved it. I maybe could actually really find it again. The power of letters. Remember when we were actually cleaning Grandma Susie's stuff out? We had found the letters that Grandpa and Grandma had written to each other. As part of the courting, like. That's what they did way back then, and just different, aspects like that. We have made, even the girls right now, we make sure every year that everybody, gets a yearbook. Now, again, your high school, I get, but yet the yearbook is an artifact that when the time comes or when whatever you could go back and you can appreciate or deal, with ever the good and the bad of the moment. But that's what art does too. It records, to a degree, history. And so I was cleaning my classrooms, so they could deep clean. And I've got a folder of just all the yellow notepad and the Post-it notes and some stuff I printed out too. So sometimes I do that, of stuff I wrote, and it's, it's pretty thick. It's again, you guys might throw it away. We could have a house fire. I get that, because somebody might argue, well, it's not worth doing, creating a physical aspect of it, because that could be destroyed too. It can. I understand that, but it's more real. I think it's here. It's in this physical world, no matter how much time we spend on the screen or things along that line, it's tangible to feel, to read, to look at things,
So to kind of connect where I disagree and agree, like with that GI football, to me, the immediate thing it makes me think of is the documentary just as a whole, like that being an artifact. That can't be, maybe in the future, holograms, I don't know. But that can't be a physical artifact ever. It just has to be a digital online thing. But that still, to me, because it's on, I guess, YouTube, kind of in my mind kind of serves the same purpose of being kind of a physical artifact. People can go there whenever they want, watch it, look at it, whatever. But I get that kind of connection of thinking about all the work that took through that physical artifact of the football, I guess. And so, like, I agree a lot, and I do think it's important to have those artifacts. I kind of makes me want to put a photo album together now. And, like, Bass wants pictures from our trip printed up, whatever, as, like, a physical artifact. There is also a digital side that I know is probably not going away in my lifetime. And two, just with some of my stuff having to be digital helps serve as that. It, like, Instagram photos definitely do not give me that same feeling because I know people are going to look at it, scroll, and never look at it again.
Yeah. Which is part of the social media construct. Sorry, and I think that's a fault that we created in the design. Because there was some stuff, by like Chuck D and some other stuff that, we can archive it, on the thing. But to be able to, or we screenshot stuff, but it's like, no, the design itself eliminates basically the opportunity for me to actually save, enjoy, digital artifacts. And I think that has created this instant gratification aspect and a lackadaisical idea about some things that are important. Just, okay. Oh, that was really cool. And then, and even I have done that. I read an article. I don't know the title. It has been a couple of years. I'm 106 years old. Give me, but, just it was digital. It was on the computer. Did I bookmark it? No. But it has stayed with me. I've really had, over the last couple of years, it's just something I've really thought about.
Yeah, and it's not hard, but it is relatively a lot harder to access your archives, your save stuff, than it is to scroll with the new stuff. It takes, again, like if you were to go to Twitter, the first thing that opens up is the new stuff, and then you have to scroll or swipe, hit bookmarks, and then you get to see your save. Again, that's not hard to do, but subconsciously, when you're in doom scroll mode, it's just whatever. Like, if it takes me one more click, that's why, like, clicking links kind of died for a while on some of those websites like Instagram, whatever, because that's just one more tap that you have to do that people just generally are too lazy to do, even as stupid as it sounds. And so on Instagram, you can save stuff, then you have to go to your profile, your dashboard, your archives, and then you get to see what you saved. So even the process of looking at what you archive or have for your digital artifacts is just designed to be way harder than just seeing the new stuff and scrolling through the new stuff, and not putting that kind of mental mental impact on those artifacts.
I don't know. I think obviously what field anybody's in, you do create artifacts or you have digital artifacts. I think, however small steps you could take, of even just printing out 4x8s or whatever the standard sizes, and creating old school or in a box. I think, I have no credibility why this. I think we will swing back towards the importance and value of real stuff, and I think that we've mentioned that before. Just right now, AI, all this stuff, all that is just, blowing up and stuff. But after a while, just like, okay. And then, I think it would come back like, ooh, you created that? Cool. Can I, what I'm saying? Like, I think we tend to just swing so hard with different stuff. We,
just hope it's in our lives.
Yeah, I hope in our lives that happens. But if you're a photographer or a writer or some, not that, even printing out your digital files as a writer and having that collection, that was the other thing. Sorry. Remember we talked about that last summer, but I remember that older poet, I talked about, she had the poem on the old computer feed. Like she had held on to it. It was yellowed. It was her poem though. It was her poem. And she still had that, and it might have been the last copy that she ever had. And then just that, I remember that moment. It was a great poem. But it was like, there it was, a physical artifact for them. So whatever you could do, I think you too. I think you slowly or a little bit at a time should really kind of consider, how can I, have those things that we can discover, that future generations, like
my kids will see the first bubbler I drank after getting sponsored. And with that, we hope you guys enjoyed season 9, episode 2 of The Creative Moment. Again, we're on all the platforms, wherever you want to find us. Video, we're on YouTube, Spotify. Just audio, we're on, again, Spotify, Apple, whatever, wherever you find us. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.